Good morning. It's Starrylock, and this is Stories Lost and Found as well as Starrylock. I'll be taking a look at a history that is published in this pictorial atlas shortly for the town of Cylinder, and starting my morning walk. This is what the weather has been like here for 3 days now, and if the forecast is accurate, it's going to be like this for another 7. First person in the house was Donna Reed, and Diggum showed up. Good morning, Steve. I was going to stream my farm life work this morning, but will hang out with you instead. Well, thank you. I am Zaxxon, Rune International. Rather than mentioning if you don't see who I'm talking about, they're probably in the other stream because I'm streaming from 2 channels. But I'm just going to show them up on the screen. That way you get to see them too. All the way from the area around Adelaide, Australia, lockpicking engineer is here. And Donna Reed was saying hey to Rune. Just came back from the garden, got a message from Mother Nature that I had 24 hours to redeem my garden if I wanted it back. So much for no more May. And then my chat just vanished. And it's back again. Pocket Woman is here. Also from South Australia. Doctor Who. Lockkraken. Nightheart. And Chris Capoon. So, what we are seeing here has become a half-court basketball, a tennis court, a tot lot, and a baseball diamond. This was all once. I am not sure what they were using it for when the school owned it, but the school district in Emmetsburg used to own this. 54 degrees north is here. Oh, I forgot to mention they have a sand volleyball court there. This is the town of Cylinder, or at least what little you're seeing of it at the moment. I'll be heading out into the wilds and checking it out shortly. But I thought I would read you what history I have. This is slightly more thorough than what is on Wikipedia. In fact, I think Wikipedia might have copied this because there are several lines that are very similar. Cylinder, Iowa started as a large hay barn built by Brown and Sons in 1885, and the railroad company that put in a siding in order to enable them to load hay. Browns also built a house the same year, and in 1889, John Gardner built a store. The following year, the railroad company built a depot, and the station was named Cylinder after the famous Cylinder Creek that flows near the town site. Said the creek got its name Cylinder from an attempt by early settlers to cross the stream at high water with an engine, but the feat was difficult and the heavy machine sank into the mud. and the cylinder became detached and lost in the creek and was never found. This may only be a legend, but it is certain that the stream, which has been known by that name, gave its name to the town located not far from its bank. John Gorder was the first postmaster. In 1890, Charles T. Terwilliger built another store, and the farmers built a creamery. The farmers joined together and put the blacksmith shop and house for the blacksmith. John Gansler took charge and worked out the price of the building and worked for the shareholders until it was paid in full. Kelly Brothers put another store in 1892, and the hotel and livery barn were erected by E.E. Hughes the following year. Others built stores and houses, and the town grew rapidly until 1901, when it was incorporated by George Wells being the first mayor and M.N. Olson the first marshal. Cylinder is the center of a rich farming community and is a good trading station and prosperous town. James A. Keller, who came to this town in 1871, drove wagon on this freight line and kept a diary and his interesting record of the early days. The places where the road is essentially bad to get through Cylinder Creek, they would double up and put all the oxen on one wagon. In 1873, the freighters spent several days helping the circus over the creek. Hotel known as Queen Hotel and stood where the bank's parking lot, and we'll get to the bank, which is no longer a bank, is now. Cylinder at one time had a drugstore between the bank and the telephone office. The druggist's name was Mr. Okina. The first telephone switchboard that the telephone company had was put back on the J. Lonson hardware store and was in the building which is Peterson's store. The livery barn located east of the creamery building, of which have both long gone. The name has never changed. It's always been Cylinder. The Cylinder Bank has been robbed 3 times: in June 7th, 1917, April 12th, 1978, and October 4th, 1978. Submitted by Clifford S. Hung, Postmaster. So, Love Rules has joined us, as has Judy Menzel. So, it is 8:03. It is time to set out. I think the rain's actually let up, but I'm going to bring the umbrella anyway. Marlon for MAERvideos is here. Yes, the rain has let up. Oh, I'm going to risk it. If I get wet, I get wet. Things are having some traffic here this morning. This is the east side of the volunteer fire department, and they're having a fundraiser omelet fry this morning. I thought I'd be having my live with the main ambient sound being the rain on the umbrella, but it turns out a mourning dove is our ambient noise along with traffic. I don't know if that's coming across or not. Plenty of noise within the Cylinder Fire Department. I don't think anybody local watches my videos. If they did, I'd point out that you have from 8 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. to participate in Omelet Breakfast, which is a fireworks fundraiser. The Cylinder Fire Department. There is several older buildings, which I have no idea what they are. But they are certainly interesting looking. Oh, it is sprinkling now. I may regret the lack of an umbrella. I do not know what this building is like on the inside. For a number of years, in that window, there was a sign that read, "Buy me and make me into a convenience store." So, in case you're wondering what the Dorcas Society is, it was apparently a charitable women's group in the Lutheran Church. Dorcas being a name from the book of Acts, which I believe is Aramaic, translates as Tabitha, which is why Tabitha becomes a biblical name. We checked out Cylinder. Their park didn't look super old, but might have some baseball traffic worth detecting, especially near the diamond. And we have another business. I don't see any sign of actual business to it, but it has a sign up with a phone number to tell you who to call in case you're having financial issues. There's that. The sign over that also says Cylinder Fire Department. I don't know if that makes it the old fire department. And there is the post office. The sidewalks are rather broken up. I'm glad I'm not doing this in the winter. And I would say, based on that, this must be the local florist. And then the florist shop has a little greenhouse here. And across the way here is a restaurant bar that is currently called Hawk's Nest, with the University of Iowa Hawk symbol on it. That has been a number of different restaurants over the years. Mandy Brown is here, as well as Judy Manziel. There is, I think, the sum total of what's left of the telephone company in town. And the sign for this building is worn away over time. It's 801 Main. They used to take just about every type of credit card. That may have been the hardware store, maybe a lumber yard. When I mentioned the bank, this was the bank until it closed in the 1990s. When this was up for sale, if I'd had the money, I had thought about getting it, especially if it had its vault in the basement still, because that had been interesting. But it is now affordable glass. They are open. In case you happen to be in Cylinder, Iowa and are in need of automotive glass. There's another former business. Which muddy route shall I take? Yeah, I didn't see a whole lot of dates on top of the building, but the history I read told us that 1886 makes it a bit younger than Emmetsburg. There used to be right there a co-op sign, which is now empty, so I don't know if that means the co-op is no longer in business. But the grain elevators are still here, and the railroad runs through the edge of town. Despite this looking like a gravel road, none of the streets in this town are gravel. This was the inexpensive way of treating the streets. You lay down tar and then you put gravel on top of it, which doesn't seem to me to be a great way of doing it, but I'm not the one spending the money. Yeah, a storm may have taken out that sign. It's hard to say. It was not too many days ago we had some really nasty straight line winds that did a lot of roof and tree damage stuff. And the old bank is an automotive glass store, and right there is your local body shop. So they're conveniently located if you are in need of automotive glass or car or body repair. No, that is a pile of sand. Nothing as interesting as a pyramid. Yeah, the Portland cement of the highway is a little beaten up. They are the highway dollars being spent in the area right now are for inspection and repair of bridges, which I guess is a good thing because you don't want your bridges collapsing. And Diggum is DB not streaming this morning since it's Sunday, and I'd rather hang out with Starry over coffee. Be back live tomorrow if you want to join in. And there isn't any sign saying what denomination this church is. This town reminds me of the set from the Canadian TV show Corner Gas. As the Dorcas Society is a Lutheran women's group, that might be a Lutheran church. It just doesn't say. Yeah, Sunday mornings tend to be that way, especially this time of day. There's an empty lot with the signs of a driveway. And you can sort of see the foundations of a building there. So, I don't know what that's all about, but Chaz73 is here. I am a little tired this morning. I stayed up very late, especially for me, on Juice's channel, which is Can You Dig It Metal Detecting, as it was Manly Dirt Fishing was doing his 600 subscriber giveaway, and it was a 3.5 hour adventure. So there's a nice grow of pines that have been there for a while. Not a whole lot here, I guess. The problem with small towns, they're small. But it hasn't gone beyond sprinkling, so the omelet breakfast is filling up the parking lot. And the Numus Maniac is here. There is the little tot lot. Like I said, this belonged to the Emmetsburg schools district until the 1990s. So Diggin was right. This has not been here very long. If you are not marked as a moderator already, let me know in chat so I can I'll double check this in a few days. I only have access to the StreamYard chat, so I can't mark people as moderators, but you have a plaque. $1970. It's not a leaf on there. That's the plaque that cut. 1976 to 2076 Centennial Committee of 2076 to open time capsule which lies below this stone. Cylinder Park Board. Well, that would indicate this park has been here since the 1970s and not the 1990s, but still pretty young. This looks like an older building here, though. I don't think any of us will be around to be part of the 2076 Centennial Committee. We have to check to see what this padlock is. It is not a padlock, nor is there anything holding this door closed. Well, with all the rain we've been having, it better be green. Another sliding door on this side, and more boarded up windows. I do not know what this building is. And as it's a wooden structure, we're not going to get a cornerstone. Yeah, what's the worst that can happen? All the prominent people of the community are less than a block away at the fire department omelet breakfast. But there isn't any sign that says no trespassing, and it is a public park, so worst that'll happen is I'll be asked to leave. I think it's barred from the inside. Homeless people behind the door with guns. Walking Dead. Well, I can tell this is not a frequently used steps, as they are all covered in lichen and rotting. Well, without building up speed on what's wooden stairs and trying to ram the door, I don't think I'm getting it open. This town is called Cylinder. which according to at least its apocryphal history, the locals tried to cross a stream with an engine, and the waters were high, and the engine fell off and got washed downstream and was never found again, and the stream became Cylinder Creek, and the town built nearby became Cylinder. There is no public square. There was only one street I didn't walk down, so there's not a whole lot here. I mean, it is 87 people. There is one of the streets I did not go down has a tire store at the end of it. From what I can tell, they have never had a school in this town. They have always bused over to Emmetsburg because this Cylinder has always been part of the Emmetsburg school district. I could not find on any map either the 79 Atlas or the Google Maps that show any sign of a school building. So my Stories Lost and Found channel has gained its very own community tab, as I have finally gotten over 500. And Wayside Wade is here. This is more pleasant than any gated community anywhere. Well, I'm sure the people in this town think so. Although I think from their previous sign on the Dorcas Society building's window, they would like to have some type of a store so they didn't have to drive 7 miles to go to Emmetsburg for food. This is the lightest the rain has been in 3 days, which is why everything is rather muddy. Rune International says, looking forward to getting to 500 subs so I can start a community post as an alternative to Twitter. This is a small enough town. When that car was heading toward me, I have kind of a social anxiety, so I was a little on the, are they coming to ask me what the hell I'm doing in their town? But that's just me. I mean, it could happen, but So I was thinking of touring the tiny little towns of Palo Alto County for the next 3 Sundays, which will take us through June. And then going to locations. Is that of interest to people, or would you rather have me find like old cemeteries? And because about a half hour out of Emmetsburg is the old Ralph Cemetery, which is also called the non-denominational cemetery. It's supposed to have graves from settlers. It has not been used in like 50 years. I mean, I'll get there eventually, but Doctor Who votes for cemeteries. Chris Capoon votes for cemeteries. I hate people when I'm outweighed. LOL. I go out of my way so I don't have to talk to them. And Judy says this is an enjoyable story. I love small towns. Doctor Who says get a 2K meter and a spirit box. And Chris is having me invest in drones, and which drones are more affordable. It's just, that'd be a learning curve too. Done is just, it's all good, Starry. "54 degrees north" says at 14:30 here, MAERvideos. Yes. Down in the description on Starry's Lost and Found, you will find links to FL Thunder Digging with Rob, whose live is going on right now, but will be going on after I am done. And you are free to follow that link and go check out his morning show. At the top of the hour, it is the first Sunday of the month, and Liz over at DiggingCanuck will start her Coffee with Liz. And then about the time she gets done, if she gets done on time, we will have MAERvideos. And all 3 of those links are down in the Starry's Lost and Found's description section. I know that doesn't help the members of the Locksort community who are here, but I don't know of any lives that are consistent for the Locksport community that aren't on Saturday morning. Tim usually has his live, and then from North Carolina, and then Jason over at SE Lock and Key has his live about an hour after Tim is done. Yes, I am in the central time zone. I'm over in Iowa, north central Iowa. Not quite so north central that I'm in Mason City, which would be an interesting place to go for one of these Sundays, but that would probably require me staying in Mason City Saturday night or getting up in the dark, even in the summer, and driving over there. Yeah, I wouldn't count on Liz getting done on time. And she hasn't been on in a while because she changed her Coffee with Liz to the first Sunday only because she has been helping to host other people's lives. And then Liz's husband, Mr. DiggingCanuck, was in the hospital following a heart attack, but he is now, after they put a stent in, recovering at home. So it does sound like a potential road trip their way for one of us, or maybe we can meet halfway in between, which would put us somewhere in Dana Reed's neighborhood, although she's still in Wisconsin, just on the other side. My company has customers over where Dana Reed lives. So if they ever update to our newer units, I'll have to make certain I deliver the units and meet up with Dana somewhere. Yes, Chris is all the way over in California. And if you want to follow Doctor Who's madness, follow him on Instagram at Doctor. Well, Wade's always busy meeting up with cool people like Toll Road and I might be tempted to go join the Omelette Breakfast after touring their town, as no one came out and lynched me or anything. Yeah, Toll Road is a fun guy. I am still surprised I didn't discover you through some of his videos, but I eventually found you and you found me, so welcome to the channel. I think I am going to drive home. Slinky should have a live on Friday nights, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. I'll tell you the night not to have it if you don't want to compete with treasure hunting channels, and that is Saturday night. I took 3.5 hours on Juice's channel last night, but there was like 12, 18 different lives going on. Yeah, that's right. Yes, I believe I did. I tend to, when I go on lives, especially if I have moderator status, I tend to click on a channel, go to the channel, subscribe, and as soon as the live I am watching is done, start watching the videos of the channels I'm on have called up. So, and Pinned on Places is here. We did a walkthrough of the Townless Cylinder. It's only 87 people, and half the stores are closed. But I think my audience thought it was interesting. I always have self-doubt about things. I'm not the most confident person when it comes to my creative endeavors. Whether that is, and that includes when I run a role-playing game, even though I've been running role-playing games since 1979. So. It has been raining for 3 days, and the forecast is for it to continue to rain for at least the next week. So next Sunday, it may be, I may need a snorkel in order to present the video. We'll see. Yeah, Tim over at Lockpicking Patrolman did have posted on Twitter that his new cat is pregnant. So, yeah, I'm not sure I can do that. That would be crossing the Rocky Mountains and going the wrong way. We'll show you where our Department of Transportation money is going right now, which I'm not complaining. It's a little bit of a hassle, but I'd rather have that than have the bridge collapse under me, because these bridges have been ignored for decades. So it's probably a really good thing that they're doing this. So normally the highway would bend to my left there. It's a big curve that they have you slow down to 35 for. But if you are westbound, they have you take the detour. And then you wait here at the stoplight. They are still working on the south side, the north side of the bridge, and they have been for several months, but I guess with all the rain, it's going to take even longer. And some of the eastbound traffic is coming across the bridge. I don't know if these are timed. I don't see how they'd be anything but timed, though. Yeah, it won't be a weekly get-together, but it's close enough that we could do an occasional. And there is U.S. taxpayer money hard at work. This bridge obviously failed its inspection and needed repair. If I was heading west towards Spencer, there's 2 of those you have to stop for. Yeah, fuel prices were under $4 until Memorial Day hit, and then the prices jacked up 70 cents a gallon around here. So that is why my fuel gauge is getting low. I had saved up the money to go visit my brother who lives in Ireland, and then COVID hit, and then prices went off the scale. Yeah, diesel prices have not been cheap, which means everything gets more expensive because everything in the U.S. is transported via truck. Pocket Woman made a comment back there, but I missed it. I'll have to roll back to it when I am not driving. Digging is reminding everyone that she has bingo tickets available for the Monday Digs event. If you're into metal detecting, it is a great setup. And then they have a new setup that is on Fridays, which are a series of metal detecting channels linked together to premiere their videos back to back. So I was a much younger man when I could drive from Iowa to Colorado, which is nearly a 20-hour drive, or from Iowa down to, I went to a convention in Austin, Texas, and that was nearly a 20-hour drive too, so. So this is just a quick little 7-mile jaunt from Cylinder back to Emmetsburg. The Senex station has non-manned gas pumps out here, which are cheaper. If your vehicle can run on ethanol in Iowa, that is definitely your cheaper route for getting gas. Especially if you can go up to 85% ethanol, which the Quick Star handles the normal 15 all the way up to 85. So you got to be careful not to select the wrong fuel type. Beverly Smith says, good morning, everyone. There is our casino called the Wild Rose, which is a chain of casinos. That's been there for, I think, going on 18 years. And it was never the economic boom that the people for it said it was, and it hasn't been the economic disaster that the opponents to it said it was. So, yeah. And if I ever wanted to do a nighttime video, this here is a building called Naz Oil. It's been there for decades and decades. And according to several books and several websites, if I come out here at night, you can see the ghost of a man in a checkered shirt checking the doors to his motel, which seems like having owned a motel, that seems really creepy to me, to go around and checking all the doors at the motel at night. And I've never found any sign of a motel ever having been back here, so I don't know how accurate the story is. And Twig1 UK has joined us. Ooh, I'm going to have to go through here and grant moderatorship when I review the chat. I'm going to head back and look for Pocket Woman's. Well, she directly said something to me and then rolled on past while I was driving. And for me, chat's been pretty hopping. Okay, here we go. Starrylock. I won't be available to do Shout Out Monday again this week. I have added some new channels. Okay, well, new channels are good because we were running low. As some of you might be aware, on the Lock Sport community side, I run Shout Out Mondays, where I highlight a channel with fewer than 100 subscribers. Make sure you promote your friends and yourself if you're under 100 subscribers. And then on the Treasure Fam side of things, I do a Shout Out Tuesday where I highlight magnet fishing, explore channels, and metal detecting, and just about any aspect of treasure hunting. I am pretty sure gas prices would be a lot better if oil companies weren't making record profits and giving record dividends to their investors, but that's how capitalism works. Well, it has been just shy of an hour. It has been a pleasure to have you all here. I will pick up somewhere. I believe we'll be in Curlew next Sunday, but we'll see how fuel levels on the car and gas prices are going as to whether or not I am not just walking around the downtown again. It has been nice having you. I believe this is your first time here, Pinned on Places. And it's great to have the people, or the regulars and the new people. The more the merrier. Couple days, YouTube will have the videos processed such that I can see the chat again, and I will go through here and grant moderatorship to anyone who does not currently have it. So that you can share your link and click on the other person's channel and say go to channel. I will be live every Sunday at the same time, which is 8 a.m. Central Time, whether that's 8 a.m. Central Daylight Time as it currently is. And take care, everyone. I'll be on one of my other channels the next few days, so I'll see you there.